Coming up on Vegas Nation Game Day, we look at the place in South Carolina that produced Raiders teammates Hunter Renfrow and Brian Edwards.
Can you believe that? You know, that we had two kids from the same area.
Hey Brian, this is John Gruden with the Las Vegas Raiders. How you doing, man? I want to see if
even Lady Liberty is ready for the Silver and Black to take on the Panthers. Our fast takes and smart coverage kicking off now.
This is Vegas Nation Game Day. Brought to you by Meineke and your local Meineke dealers. When you shop for quality, shop Meineke.
Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Las Vegas Raiders are getting ready to face off against the Carolina Panthers. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the debut episode of Vegas Nation Game Day. I am your host, Cassie Soto. Joining us from Charlotte is Review Journal sports columnist Ed Graney, and here with me live in studio is our NFL reporter Adam Hill. Adam, good morning.
Good morning, Cassie. And yeah, not that anybody's been counting, but we've been waiting for this day for 3 years, 5 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days. Ever since the NFL owners approved the plan in 2017 to move the Raiders to Southern Nevada, and now we're less than an hour away from the Silver and Black opening the 2020 season against the Carolina Panthers.
That's right, Adam. And here at Vegas Nation Game Day, we're going to make sure that you, the fans, are ready for each and every game as the Raiders play their inaugural season in Las Vegas. We'll bring you player interviews, expert insight from Review Journal reporters, and all the local angles on the newest professional sports team in Las Vegas. So with that, let's go ahead and get to some storylines. First, Ed, how does it feel to say that the Las Vegas Raiders are ready to take the field?
Guys, you know as well as anyone, March 27th, 2017, by a 31-1 vote of NFL owners, they approved the relocation of the Oakland Raiders to the Las Vegas Raiders. And in that moment, it was history for Southern Nevada and Las Vegas. The perception of your town with an NFL team changes globally. The breadth of such a change won't be known probably till next year in Allegiant Stadium, the tourism, everyone coming into town to see this team play in Las Vegas. But I'm telling you, when you are one of 30 cities, we know SoFi Stadium houses the Rams and Chargers. We know the Giants and Jets have their own stadium back east. Las Vegas now has the Raiders. It starts today in Carolina against the Panthers, but next year, hopefully when COVID has passed, Las Vegas will see what it means to have an NFL team, all the tourism, everyone coming to Allegiant Stadium. Guys, this is a huge day for our town.
A very big day, Ed. Thank you. Well, the second storyline, Adam, it is the NFL debut for rookies like Henry Ruggs III, Damon Arnette. How do you see them performing under the spotlight?
Well, ready or not, we're going to find out, right? I mean, they're going to be thrown out there into the fire. Damon Arnette, a starting cornerback from day one in the NFL. Not that often you see that happen, but they think he's ready, and we'll see him put to the test right away. I know the Carolina Panthers are going to try to challenge him in the passing game as much as possible. And on the other side, not only Henry Ruggs, also Brian Edwards, two starting wide receivers in the NFL. That is a rarity. You rarely see that happen, and you really rarely see it work out. So those guys are going to have a lot of pressure on them as well. I know they want to go to Ruggs early and often today.
Yeah. Well, third storyline here. Let's look at quarterback Derek Carr. We know that he remains the starter, but Marcus Mariota has been brought in, but he is on injured reserve. Ed, let's go back to Ed. How does that affect what the Raiders do under center?
This is a big year for Derek Carr. There's no question about it. We see the stats. We see the numbers. One thing they haven't done much under Derek Carr. It's not all his fault and never it is, but the quarterback is held by the standard of winning games. He needs to win games this year. Defensively, they're better. He has more weapons offensively, but Derek Carr has to take that next step as the Raiders quarterback and produce wins and get this team in contention for a playoff spot. Marcus Mariota is hurt, as we know. Derek Carr needs to stay healthy. Marcus Mariota might be back, but that's not a question. Derek Carr starts today his 7th season with the Raiders. They need to win games. They need to be in a position to make the playoffs under him this season.
Ed, thank you once again. Ed reporting from Charlotte.
Our social media is sponsored by D&R Diamonds, making luxury affordable.
Let's get our first look at social media, Adam. First up, Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs got a different jersey this week.
Yeah, we got to see Henry Ruggs and some other teammates really wearing the jerseys of other teams around town. You see Henry Ruggs here get his very own Golden Knights jersey. Golden Knights not going so well right now. I know everybody's hoping for a big rally out of the Knights against Dallas. Maybe Henry Ruggs wearing the jersey will inspire it. We saw some other players wearing Knights jerseys getting on the plane, and even really getting in the spirit of other teams around town too. Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, well, speaking of jerseys, it looks like defensive end Max Crosby has some very special fans ready to cheer on their dad.
Listen, these dogs are adorable. They're social media stars. We see them all the time. They are big celebrities already here in Las Vegas. And yeah, Max Crosby's pups just ready to go out on the field. They look like they're ready to play. I think the Raiders could use them.
All right, Adam. Well, thank you so much for those updates. We'll get more social media from the social media world later on in the show. Well, Raiders fans, speaking of social media, we want to see and hear from you. Send us your pictures, videos, and posts to Vegas Nation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for a chance to be part of Vegas Nation Game Day. Well, coming up on Vegas Nation Game Day, Ed Graney will flip the field with Panthers reporter Miles Simmons. Stay with us.
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Alexa, play my flash briefing.
Here's what's new in today's news.
Stay in the loop of the latest information in the Las Vegas Valley with the Las Vegas Review Journal Flash Briefings. Every day, we will provide you with everything you need to know in news, business, weather, entertainment, and sports. Go to the Alexa app and search LVRJ News Briefing. Then say, Alexa, play my flash briefing to hear 3 minutes of the most important information in Las Vegas.
All your listeners and followers, the best name of any podcast in the world is podcast.
It doesn't make good television if they walk in the door and be like, no.
We believe we can make absinthe work.
Whoa, I didn't order that.
Did you just say that?
Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, he's a quarterback in the Boston area.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Field Pass is sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company, your neighborhood brewery and sports bar.
With your Field Pass from Bank of America Stadium here in Charlotte, I'm Heidi Fang with this live look at the field. And here's your first indication that the 2020 NFL season will be different than any other that we have seen in the past. Because of COVID-19, no fans will be allowed in the stadium for Week 1. The team indicated in a statement that North Carolina officials made the decision to withhold fans from entering the stadium in Week 1. Now, you can also see that NFL sideline rules will be different. They're limiting people, including reporters like me. There will be a very different look here in the 2020 NFL season.
Well, Heidi, of course, COVID-19 has affected everyone, including the Raiders. What is the team doing differently in response to the pandemic?
Well, Cassie, what I know the Raiders are doing differently is they're very much limiting what the team can do while they are here in Charlotte. They had buses take them directly from the airport to the hotel, and they're pretty much staying sequestered. They're also being tested daily, and there's a full temperature check for the team upon arrival. Everybody will have to go through a questionnaire and a process about COVID-19 to make sure that they do not exhibit any symptoms before entering the stadium.
We know mini camps and preseason were canceled because of the coronavirus. How have John Gruden and the rest of his coaching staff had to change the way that they coach?
Well, a lot of things have been different in the off-season, Cassie. And John Gruden, he had to learn how to use technology. That meant using Zoom to do a lot of the early playbook things through the off-season, and for the team to learn how to adapt and take on these drills that were being done via technology. Also, on the sidelines today, you're going to see a different look for all of the team. The coaches will all be wearing masks. Now, how that works out, we don't know. We saw on Thursday Night Football, Andy Reid wearing a visor that got very steamy. So we're going to see how that plays out for John Gruden today. Will it be a visor? Will it be a mask? We don't know, but we will soon find out here at the game in Carolina. That's all I have for you. Back to you, Cassie.
Heidi Fang, thank you so much, coming to us from Charlotte. Thank you again for that report. Well, each week, Vegas Nation Game Day will bring you Raiders players and coaches in their own words. This week, we have the players reacting to their very first look at their new home in Allegiant Stadium.
Welcome to the Death Star, where our opponent's dreams come to die. My father always said that the greatness of the Raiders is in its future. Well, today that future truly starts.
If you ask me, it's the coolest place I've seen. The bright lights, the natural grass in a dome stadium. It's a lot different than Alameda. No disrespect to the old stadium, but it's a lot different. Let me say it like that.
I haven't seen a stadium that looks like this ever. Like, you know, it's blacked out, looks like a nice limousine or blacked out H2 Hummer. You know, it just looks real nice and big and aggressive. And then you get inside and then it's just beautiful. I mean, from the glass, it wasn't a piece unturned. Like, everything was nice and finished well, so I'm excited.
I loved it. I mean, when we got in there, it's just like just putting on that uniform and stepping out on the grass with my team. It was just, I can't even explain it and put it in words.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. You got to give all the shout outs in the world to the Davis family, to Las Vegas itself. I don't want to hate on anything, but it's certainly an upgrade, and it's beautiful in there. And all the guys loved it. The field turf is phenomenal, which is something that we were all kind of looking forward to. Alec Ingold was kind of giving me thoughts on little celebrations we could kind of get into.
Yeah, Foster and I, we saw that the end zone, the club level seating, and we thought that'd be pretty fun to spike a ball and see where it lands and go crazy over there. So he has those huge spikes. I'm sure y'all will be able to see a few of those this year.
Legion Stadium, it's you can't even put into words, man. It's nice, man. I wish we could have fans in there this year, man, because it's just such a nice environment. Probably one of the best football environments I've been in, man.
Just win, baby. Welcome home.
Well, Adam, if that doesn't get you pumped for Raiders football and for the day they finally get to go in to Allegiant Stadium, I don't know what will.
It got me excited. And listen, Alec Ingold and Foster Moreau have the right idea. That club in the end zone, that is a game changer. That is the coolest spot in the entire NFL. And there's going to be players incorporating celebrations into that nightclub.
Well, we were able to go in there just a few weeks ago for the Raiders practices. They had 2 practices, back-to-back Fridays. And what I really want to talk about, Adam, is when we finally were able to go down to that 129 section where media was sectioned off, to see the natural lighting that came through that that roof, it was incredible.
Yeah, and I think the first time we were in there, we were in the press box, and you really don't get a sense of just how cool that is. When you're on the field, when you're on the field level, it's like you're outside. It's not even like it's a dome at all. Incredibly cool, and I think the players are going to love it for sure. It's one of the best stadiums in the NFL, no question. I think it might be the best, but you really don't know until the fans are inside there, right? Like, you're going to get that atmosphere, that cool area around the torch. Everybody's going to be congregating and hanging out. Really looking forward to seeing fans when they're finally allowed inside there.
Right, and you mentioned the torch. Unfortunately, we were blocked off from the torch, but that area itself with the lanai doors, when that's open, when the torch flame is going, it's going to be incredible.
I think the 200 level, the club level, you can look outside. You can pretty much see the strip outside there. It's going to be crazy, and especially for night games, just look out.
It's going to be so cool. All right, well, we'll get back to the stadium a little bit later on. Now let's go ahead and hear from Heidi Fang and Vinny Bonsignore as they give us a look at the Carolina Panthers.
With a closer look at this week's opponent, it's Heidi Fang here, and I'm joined with our Review Journal Raiders writer, Vinny Bonsignore, and we're going to take a closer look at this Week 1 matchup here with the Raiders and the Carolina Panthers. So, Vinny, first of all, behind the helm, we have a big switch there. Cam Newton's out. Teddy Bridgewater's in, former New Orleans Saint. What do you make of the change here at quarterback?
Well, it's just a little bit of a change. No Cam Newton, that's crazy to me, with the Carolina Panthers. Also Luke Kuechly on the defensive side. So a whole new world for the Carolina Panthers, but specifically Teddy Bridgewater, what does he bring to the table? Well, he's a good, solid quarterback. He kept the Saints afloat last year after Drew Brees went down. They had a winning record. It allowed them to go back to the playoffs. So, a veteran, accurate thrower, good leader. Players love to play against him. Can run a little bit. He's not the runner that he used to be, but he can sit in the pocket, pick apart a defense. He's a guy that don't sleep on Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, you mentioned there's some defensive changes. The Panthers have somewhat had a bit of an overhaul in the offseason there. How does Derek Carr find the weaknesses to exploit in this matchup?
And it's not really somewhat, it's almost a complete overhaul. They're going with a lot of young players, a young head coach as well. They're going to grow together. It's not quite their time just yet, but what they do present, as Heidi said, some unknown factors. So how does Derek Carr exploit what he doesn't even know? He hasn't seen anything on film of this Carolina Panther team. I expect that it's going to take a quarter or two for the Raiders and Derek Carr to kind of get it situated and understand what the Panthers are trying to do, whether it's schematically, what their defensive front is, blitz packages. All of that stuff is going to be completely unknown to the Raiders until about a quarter or so into the game. But I think they'll eventually figure it out. That's what good teams and good coaches do. And then I think Derek Carr will get to work. And there's no question that the Raiders are a better team than the Carolina Panthers. And this Raiders offense is, with Carr going into year 3 under John Gruden, returning offensive line. Most of his skill players are back except for Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards, the 2 rookies. But they're just the talent level is just too good for the Raiders not to go in there and be able to take care of the Carolina Panthers decisively.
Great, Stephanie. And now it's time to flip the field with our own Review Journal sports columnist Ed Graney, who's going to be joined by the Panthers senior NFL writer Miles Simmons here in Flip the Field.
Well, we are joined right now by Miles A. Simmons. Follow him on Twitter at Miles A. Simmons. He is your senior writer and editor for the Panthers, at Panthers.com, at Panthers on Twitter. Miles, how are you? Good to see you.
Doing well. Good to see you too, Ed.
Yeah. So listen, we're going to go over the Panthers and the Raiders. It's Flip the Field. I want to ask you the first. The Raiders have said for weeks now they don't know how to prepare for the Panthers in that it's a new coaching staff. Matt Rule has new coordinators. Teddy Bridgewater's a new quarterback. Let me ask you, because what do the Panthers know about themselves? Is it the same for them?
Yeah, it's interesting. Matt Rule has talked about this, that they don't necessarily know exactly who they are quite yet. And some of that is good because it means that nobody else knows who they are either. But they've gone through practice. They understand what they want to be able to do in order to try to be their best selves against the Raiders. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because there are so many unknowns, and none of these guys have actually really played together against another team. So,
Miles, you were here last year. Hello, the first time I've seen you, but you're back in the first week. You were here covering the Raiders with the Review Journal. You know John Gruden's team well, third year into the Gruden era. When you're at Bank of America Stadium on Sunday, what are you going to look for in the Raiders? Actually, they're a 3-point favorite on the road in the East. That never happens, so people think they have a chance to go there and win. But what do you want to see with the names they've added out of the Raiders?
Well, I think if the Raiders are going to win this game, then it's going to mean that they're going to score a bunch of points. And I think that they could do that in part because, look, the Panthers haven't really faced anybody yet, right? They faced their own offense, but, they've got a couple of young guys in the secondary. One's Jeremy Chin. They're really high on him as a safety and kind of a big nickel guy. But also they've got a guy in Troy Pride Jr. Look, he is a 4th-round draft pick. He is somebody who's listed at the depth chart in terms of starting right now. And so if you've got somebody like a Henry Ruggs, Edwards is another one of those guys that's young. I know he's talented as well. Those are the guys that you're probably going to go after.
Well, there he is. He's Miles Simmons. Follow him on Twitter at Miles A. Simmons. Senior writer and editor at Panthers. Panthers.com does a terrific job. We miss you, Miles, but I know you're doing well in Carolina. I really want to thank you for the time.
Of course, Ed. Anytime.
Ed and Miles, thank you both so much. Up next on Vegas Nation Game Day, we'll take you to the place in South Carolina that produced 2 Raiders receivers. Stay with us.
NFL Trivia is presented by Attack Law. The best defense is a good offense.
And it's still more of...
Which college hosted the Carolina Panthers home games during their first season? Was it A, Clemson, B, Duke, C, North Carolina, or D, South Carolina?
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Alexa, play my flash briefing.
Here's what's new in today's news.
Stay in the loop of the latest information in the Las Vegas Valley with the Las Vegas Review Journal Flash Briefings. Every day, we will provide you with everything you need to know in news, business, weather, entertainment, and sports. Go to the Alexa app and search LVRJ News Briefing. Then say, Alexa, play my flash briefing to hear 3 minutes of the most important information in Las Vegas.
All your listeners and followers, the best name of any podcast in the world is podcast.
It doesn't make good television if they walk in the door and be like, no.
We believe we can make absinthe work.
Whoa, I didn't order that.
Did you just, yeah, did you just say that?
Tom Brady.
Who?
And Tom Brady, he's a quarterback in the Boston area.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Now it's time for the Vegas Nation cocktail, where All-Pro mixologist J.R. Starkus brings us a refreshing take on one of the classics.
Hey Raider Nation, my name is J.R. Starkus. I'm here with Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, and in this segment every week, I'm going to walk you through an easy at-home cocktail that you can make for yourself while you're watching the game with ingredients that you can find at the liquor store and the grocery store only. Real simple. This week, spicy strawberry margarita. So I need 2 strawberries. I cut them up. I'm gonna muddle them really quickly in my mixing glass. I'm gonna add a little bit of a spicy jam. This is Tabasco spicy jam or spicy jelly. Just gonna add a quick bar spoon of that. You can add more if you like more spice. Remember, this will add some sweetness also. I'm also gonna add 1.5 ounces of fresh lime sour. That's 3/4 ounces of fresh lime and 3/4 ounces of simple syrup. Then add some Cointreau, 3/4 ounce, as well as 3/4 ounce of Roca Patron Silver. Actually, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of Roca Patron Silver. For all these cocktails as well, and more, you can watch it on my Instagram channel. I have @JRMakesDrinks on Instagram. You can see all these drinks and more on that. I'm gonna add a little bit of a glass full of ice in my rocks glass that I've garnished with a strawberry. We're gonna give this a nice shake. And we're gonna strain this right over fresh ice. Oh yeah. And for the week 1 game, spicy strawberry margarita with Roca Patron Silver. Cheers.
Adam, I'm looking around. I don't see our spicy strawberry margarita.
I think they're on the way.
Okay, great.
Yeah, they're coming.
After
sure.
the show.
Yeah.
After the show. All right, well, let's get another look at social media. Adam, Raiders quarterback recently took fans behind the scenes of a pretty fancy photo shoot.
Yeah, no question. And I know you're asking me because I am very much into photo shoots. I'm doing them all the time. Listen, as a world famous model like myself, that's what you got to do. But yeah, Derek Carr living that Vegas life, right? I mean, he is enjoying himself. He's at the Palms. He's got the fancy jewelry. That right there, one of my favorite rooms in all of Las Vegas. Highly recommend it if you have not stayed there before.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Or been to a party there. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, Derek Carr is the star quarterback of a NFL franchise in Las Vegas. These are the kind of perks that come along with that.
Yeah.
Good times.
All right. Well, that's the perks about being in Las Vegas, right?
Yes, for sure.
Well, let's go ahead and look at YouTube now. Raiders running back Jalen Richard gave his fans an inside look of his preparations for the 2020 season.
Yeah, not only on the field but off, as he is starting YouTube channel. He's got some really good, exciting stuff that's up there. And listen, I highly recommend that you follow Jalen Richard on all social media accounts. I was watching his Instagram Live the other day. The guy is just rapping along in the car. He's feeling the beats. It's great. It's a good time, and he's all around town. I mean, this is a guy who is friends with Flava Flav. And listen, if you're not a friend of Flava Flav, you're probably not a real Las Vegan. But he's rolling around with them, and they're at Topgolf. They're all over the place. So highly recommend Jalen Richard on Instagram.
These guys living up the Vegas life already. Love it. Love
How
to see it.
How could you not? Really.
All right, fans. Well, we are going to take a quick break, but be sure to stay with us. I am just kidding. We love you guys, so we're going to stay on camera here.
Exactly.
No, we got more. We got way more to
Exactly.
do. We know that it is pretty early for Las Vegas. 9 a.m. is early, so just in case you weren't able to join us at the top of the show, here are some of the things that we've covered so far. The Las Vegas Raiders, of course, opening up their season at the top of the hour in Charlotte against the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers have a new head coach in Matt Rule and a new starting quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, and the COVID-19 pandemic has changed a lot of things for the Panthers. It means no fans will be at Bank of America Stadium for the season opener. For the Raiders, it means new protocols on everything from face coverings to team travel.
All right, well, now we're going to go to break really fast, but be sure to stay with us right after this break. We'll be right back.
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Alexa, play my flash briefing.
Here's what's new in today's news.
Stay in the loop of the latest information in the Las Vegas Valley with the Las Vegas Review Journal Flash Briefing. Every day, we will provide you with everything you need to know in news, business, weather, entertainment, and sports. Go to the Alexa app and search LVRJ News Briefing. Then say, Alexa, play my flash briefing to hear 3 minutes of the most important information in Las Vegas.
Today's game is special for all of Las Vegas, but it has an extra special meaning for two Raiders teammates, receivers Hunter Renfrow and Brian Edwards. They have a friendship that has its roots in a couple of small South Carolina towns not 15 miles apart. Ed Graney and videographer Ben Hager have that story.
The first call I got after the draft, after Brian was drafted, was from Coach Renfrow here. And he said, "Can you believe that? You know, that we had two kids from the same area."
Hey Brian, this is John Gruden with the Las Vegas Raiders. How you doing, man? I want to see if you want to be a Las Vegas Raider.
Yes, sir! And it was a little surreal that two kids that we knew had been in our home, had spent the night in our home, were great friends with our son, we're actually going to be on the same NFL team.
Yeah, I think coming up, probably the big things about Hunter's a very persistent individual. He loves football.
Gotta make it a great day. Gotta make it a great day. Gotta get better.
Loves practicing, loves playing. That love of the game and his persistency about trying to be the best he can be is the thing that just probably stood out more than anything.
Good job.
When I knew Hunter was a football player was, I think his sophomore year, he was a quarterback at Socastee, and they were running a triple option, and he broke one down the sideline, and my fastest player, who went on to play college football, had an angle on him and never caught him. You tend to just kind of think, well, where's Hunter? And then all of a sudden he makes a big play. And Brian was somewhat the same way. You know, now on the other hand, Brian was physically imposing, but he was very quiet and very meticulous about just doing his job. So he could kind of go, get lost in the shuffle too. But then as soon as he did, he makes a big play.
But just the respect they have for each other and I think the love they have for each other. They care for each other, and I think that's important.
So you know how you usually ask me like for advice and all that, and like I'm a big brother to you? Yeah, you can tone it back a little bit today.
But it's a joy just to see them be able to be on the same field together.
Welcome back to Vegas Nation Game Day, presented by Meineke and your local Meineke dealers. When you shop for quality, shop Meineke.
NFL Trivia is presented by Attack Law. The best defense is a good offense. The answer is A, Clemson. The Panthers played at Clemson's Memorial Stadium in 1995 before moving into Bank of America Stadium in 1996.
Welcome back to Vegas Nation Game Day. Cassie Soto here alongside Adam Hill. Adam, it is now time for our status check. We do know that Raiders tackle Trent Brown is active today, but Panthers guard Dennis Daly is out with a sprained ankle. Who are we seeing as other inactives?
Yeah, so the Raiders have a good problem to have. Everybody's basically healthy for this game, so you don't have to have anybody inactive because of health reasons. So they did have to make decisions. Rico Gafford, wide receiver who made the team. A lot of people are excited to see what he can do and use his speed. First time he's ever made the roster out of camp, although he's been with the team the last 2 years. He is inactive today, so no Rico Gafford. Dallin Levitt, a guy they really expect to contribute on special teams when he is active. Safety, not active today. And Daniel Ross, a guy with a lot of hype here in the preseason. They've really been impressed with what he did. He is a guy that came with Rod Marinelli over, knows the system. I think he could be a real contributor at some point this year, but not active today. And then on the offensive line, Brandon Parker, tackle, a guy who's going to be pretty versatile for them, can play either side. No health issues on the line, so he is inactive. Along with John Simpson, a draft pick, was looking to make his first ever appearance today out of Clemson, back in his region, so back home. But no John Simpson today for the Raiders. He is inactive. Again, good problems to have. Everybody's healthy, so you have to have some guys inactive, and that's the choice for today.
Adam, thank you so much for that update. Well, joining us now to give us an update on the line is Las Vegas Review-Journal sports betting writer Todd Dewey. Todd, how are the Raiders looking? What are the books saying?
Thanks, Cassie. Well, the Week 1 lines in the NFL have been up at Las Vegas Sportsbook since May. And the Carolina game, Raiders game, has been one of the biggest movers. Carolina actually opened as a 1-point favorite at William Hill. The Raiders became consensus 3-point favorites last week. The line ticked down to 2.5 this weekend, but now as we approach kickoff, it's 3 across the board on the Raiders, and the total has moved up a little from 46.5 opener to 48. Some sharp money has pushed that line up, and one professional sports bettor I spoke with told me one of the reasons he likes the Raiders is that he's looking to bet against quarterbacks in their first year with a new team like Carolina's Teddy Bridgewater. And also, it's a season opener, but it's a big game for the Raiders, who have a very tough schedule, and they're not favored again on look-ahead lines until Week 10, when they're 2-point home favorites over Denver. The books are also seeing a bit of a Golden Knights effect, as bettors are loading up on the Raiders in their first season in Las Vegas. There's more tickets written on the Raiders at station casinos today than any other team, and there's been more money bet on the Raiders to win the Super Bowl by far at Boyd Gaming than any other team. They're 50-1 at Boyd to win Super Bowl LV, and they're 80-1 at MGM Resorts. So there's still a few minutes for people to get down at that price. Hopefully the silver and black gets the green for bettors this season.
Todd, thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Thanks, Cassie. Have a great day.
Let's go across the league now, Adam. The Kansas City Chiefs opened up their season Thursday night against the Houston Texans. How do you think the defending champs looked?
Sloppy, I think would be fair to say. They weren't the well-oiled machine we expect out of the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the best coached teams in the league with obviously one of the better quarterbacks we've ever seen in the NFL, but more than enough to get that victory. They're the favorites in this division for a reason. The Chiefs are loaded, and Pat Mahomes, 211 yards. That's not Mahomes-like numbers, but 3 touchdowns, more than enough. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think this is something to watch. Huge production on the ground, over 120 yards. The touchdown looked really good. But in the passing game, not so much. They barely had him out there in passing situations. Only 2 targets, no receptions. I don't know that they trust his pass protection yet, and there's no way you're going to put a running back on the field that much in front of Pat Mahomes that can't pass protect.
Right. All right. Well, let's stick with the AFC West now. The Denver Broncos open up their season on Monday against the Titans, and they will be missing a very key player, Adam.
Yeah, Von Miller. We thought done for the year, maybe not done for the year. He might be able to come back in December, but still a massive loss for this defense. He does so much for them. They count on him so much on every single play to really impact what offenses do. So Von Miller, a massive loss for this Broncos team. We also saw the Chargers lose Derwin James, their most important defensive player for the year. So a lot of injuries. But on the Broncos front, Cortland Sutton goes down. They thought it could be long-term. Now there's some questions whether he even might play this week. So he's not going to miss as much time as they feared, and I know fantasy players will be very interested in that.
Well, speaking of fantasy there, Adam, if you need to make any last-minute fantasy adjustments, our expert fantasy expert Heidi Fang has some words of wisdom for you.
Hey everyone, it's your Vegas Nation podcast host here, Heidi Fang, and I've got your fantasy football preview for Week 1, the Las Vegas Raiders at the Carolina Panthers, and really, it's a no-brainer. He's somebody you've probably drafted in the first round of your leagues, and that's why you're going to have to start Josh Jacobs, Las Vegas Raiders running back, against the much-maligned Carolina Panthers run defense. Now, in 2019, the Carolina Panthers gave up 31 rushing touchdowns to opposing running backs, as well as 5.2 yards on average per carry, and a total whopping number of 2,300 rushing yards to opposing running backs. It's no secret Josh Jacobs is a workhorse for the Raiders, and this season I'm expecting him to also catch some passes out of the backfield. In this matchup, I think he sees at least 20 carries, so that's why you're going to make sure Josh Jacobs is in your starting lineups. He's going to get a monster load of points in this matchup against the Carolina Panthers in Week 1. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm Heidi Fang.
Thank you so much, Heidi. Well, next week, the Raiders will play their first game in their new home, Allegiant Stadium, and it took a lot of work by a lot of people to get that project off the ground. Review Journal videographer Michael Quine has a look.
The road to Allegiant Stadium started to take shape in January of 2016 when Raiders owner Mark Davis met with Las Vegas Sands chairman and CEO Sheldon Adelson about moving the Raiders to a proposed $1 billion dome stadium. 3 months later, in April of that year, Davis announced that he wanted to turn the Silver State into the Silver and Black State by moving the Raiders from Oakland to Las Vegas.
This is a real deal. If they can come through, we're going to be coming with me to the Raiders to Las Vegas.
The biggest obstacle was building a suitable home for an NFL team. Oakland was hesitant to build a new facility for the Raiders, but Las Vegas was ready to go all in. During a Nevada Tourism Infrastructure Committee meeting, Davis pledged $500 million towards the construction of a new stadium. By August 2016, developers had settled on a $1.9 billion budget for the stadium, as well as a site west of Interstate 15 across from Mandalay Bay. During a special session in October of 2016, the Nevada legislature approved an increase in Clark County's hotel tax to help pay for the new stadium.
It's going to put people to work. It's going to generate a lot of excitement in the community, and in 2020, we will have Las Vegas Raiders playing right here in Southern Nevada.
On March 27th of 2017, NFL owners voted to approve the Raiders' move to Las Vegas starting with the 2020 season.
We just finished a very important discussion regarding the relocation proposal by the Raiders, which our owners approved overwhelmingly.
The ground and hold it while everybody takes a picture. In November of 2017, Davis stood shoulder to shoulder with Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to break ground for what would become Allegiant Stadium. The site was graded and prepped for construction, and the race for the first game date of September 21st, 2020 was on.
Well, let's take another look at social media, Adam. We do know that Allegiant Stadium is the home of the Raiders, but it's also home to UNLV, and UNLV Athletic Director Desiree Reed-Francois showed us how it will look when the Rebels take the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, right? And we've spent a lot of time, myself and you, over at Sam Boyd Stadium as people that went to UNLV and have been around here, seen sports forever. Sam Boyd had a certain charm, I guess you could say, but this is just such a new level of, I guess, just like of ambiance for UNLV football, which we have never seen before. A very exciting moment for UNLV football, and it was just very cool to see the field as it will look when UNLV takes it.
Right. Well, Twitter decided to do Twitter things, and one Twitter user decided to make a slightly smaller version of Allegiant Stadium for their own.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, we've heard the jokes. We've definitely seen them. And everybody makes the description, hey, it looks like a Roomba. When you see it in action, you're like, okay, yeah, I guess
I get it.
see it
I
now.
get
Yeah.
it.
But it's just so, I mean, I don't know if it's more disrespectful to the Roomba or to Allegiant Stadium. I don't know. I guess it does look like it, so we can't really argue with it that much. But just well done by this person, I think, is all you can really say to this.
I would like to know the effort that they put into getting that Allegiant Stadium, the stickers. I don't think they just sell those stickers anywhere. So they took some time and effort to build this themselves.
Oh, this was not easy, for sure. But I will say, can we get like more obstacles for the Roomba to go around? maybe really do it up to like they're getting around the Broncos and like the Chiefs and the Panthers.
That'd be a
and
good one.
Something
That
like
would be a good
do
one.
Do more for the Roomba. We need to see it do something.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, but we will be right back with more. Stay with us.
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Alexa, play my flash briefing.
Here's what's new in today's news.
Stay in the loop of the latest information in the Las Vegas Valley with the Las Vegas Review Journal Flash Briefings. Every day, we will provide you with everything you need to know in news, business, weather, entertainment, and sports. Go to the Alexa app and search LVRJ News Briefing. Then say, Alexa, play my flash briefing to hear 3 minutes of the most important information in Las Vegas.
All your listeners and followers, the best name of any podcast in the world is podcast.
It doesn't make good television if they walk in the door and be like, no.
We believe we can make absinthe work.
Whoa, I didn't order that. Did you just say that?
Tom Brady.
Who?
And Tom Brady, he's a quarterback in the Boston area.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Raiders Replay is sponsored by De Castro Verde Law Group. Our motivation is you.
The Las Vegas Raiders have faced the Carolina Panthers 6 times. The series is tied 3-3. The last time these two teams met each other, the Raiders had home field advantage and walked away with a 35-32 win. Derek Carr, Jalen Richard, Rodney Hudson, and Gabe Jackson are all that remain from the Raiders' starting lineup in their last meeting on November 26, 2016. The Carolina Panthers are no new foe for head coach John Gruden. As the Raiders head coach in the year 2000, Gruden's Raiders smashed the Panthers' hopes of ending their season on a high note. Going into the game, the Raiders held a record of 11-4 and were on top of the AFC West. The Panthers were 7-8. Led by Rich Gannon's 5 touchdowns, the Silver and Black's defense also put in their contributions in the Week 17 matchup. Eric Allen intercepted a pass from Steve Berline intended for the Panthers' Mushin Muhammad and took it back to the house for 6. With 5 seconds left in regulation, Darian Gordon picked up a fumble and returned it 74 yards to score the final touchdown in the game. The Panthers offense struggled and could only muster up 3 field goals in the 52-9 routing by the Raiders. Gruden's Raiders went into their bye week reeling off of that victory. The 2000 Raiders would advance as far as the AFC Championship game, where they lost a hard-fought battle to the eventual Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens. That'll do it for this moment in Raiders history. We'll be back next week.
Thanks, Heidi. Well, now it is time to hear which Raiders said what over the past week.
There's 2 things we have to do better. We got to get better in our goal-to-go offense. You know, we walked away 7 times with nothing. We turned it over down there. We got shut out on downs down there from the 1-inch line, I think 4 times. That'll help things. And we need more possessions. If you do, I think the statistical study, we don't get the ball very often.
I most certainly expect us not to be perfect, but what game ever is a perfect game? All you got to do is try to limit the mistakes that you do have and make less mistakes than the other team.
I think that for us to be better is we have to be even better on third down. We got to stay on the field more. We got to be able to punch the ball in when we get in the red zone. There's got to be a killer instinct where we're not leaving without touchdowns. And especially, we can't leave the red zone with no points.
Our social media is sponsored by D&R Diamonds, making luxury affordable.
Cassie Soto and Adam Hill here for one last look at our social media. Again, the VGK and the Raiders partnering up. This time Ryan Reeves, again, showing his love for the Raiders. We've seen it before, now we're seeing it again.
Yeah, and this is interesting because Ryan Reeves is not becoming a fan because the Raiders are in Las Vegas. Ryan Reeves is a longtime Raiders fan. We know he's a football guy. His brother plays in the CFL. His dad played in the CFL. So definitely a football family. Ryan Reeves has always been a Raiders fan. He was on the sidelines up in Oakland, so they just happen to be coming to his town. It's not like he's jumping on the bandwagon.
Well, speaking of players in different jerseys here, Derek Carr got outfitted with the Lights jersey, our local soccer team here. Can we show that? There we go. There we go. Love that jersey.
So we talked about this earlier of the Raiders kind of representing the city a little bit. We see them in the Golden Knights jerseys, trying to wish them luck. This might be the coolest jersey in town, the LV Lights jersey. Derek Carr rocking it. Did not flip the shirt up. That's what you're supposed to flip it up.
The smiley face. We need to see the smiley face.
Show the smiley face. We don't see that. But still, representing for the city. Very, very cool of Derek Carr.
Well, the Raiders also tweeted, obviously very excited for their very first game as Las Vegas Raiders. And we're seeing the debut of Henry Ruggs III. They are so pumped to get this guy out on the field.
Yeah, so much that he can do offensively. We're going to see him use in a variety of ways. Of course, his speed is going to pop the top off the defense. They're going to try to make him get downfield and try to get behind the safeties, throw deep, but also underneath. They can use his speed to stretch the field horizontally as well. They're going to run him a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of reverses. Get the ball in his hands. Let's see what he can do. First-round pick for a reason.
Well, one last social media one here. The Golden Knights wishing their brothers here some very good luck. Let's go, neighbors.
There you go. And you see the very cool depiction of the two stadiums right across from each other. You don't realize how close they are, really, until you're down there in the area. And you can look out from those lanai doors and see T-Mobile Arena on the Strip where the Golden Knights play. A future of sports. We went from nothing as far as the Major League Sports world to now we're just loaded up right on the same block. Such a cool time to be alive in Las Vegas.
Very cool, very cool. Well, now let's go ahead and get back to Ed Graney, and let's hear his hot takes where he tells us why the Raiders simply must win this week.
Thanks, Cassie. Hey, everyone. I know it sounds crazy, but there just might be a thing as a must-win game in week 1 of the regular season, and it just might be the Raiders who need it. Stay with me. The Raiders are in year 3 of the John Gruden era, and with that should come needed familiarity and a strong knowledge of all the schemes. And while the Raiders have added what they believe to be players on both sides of the ball as upgrades, many are veterans who should have quickly picked up both terminology and how Gruden and his staff wants things done. Sure, there are young faces like Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards and Damon Arnett, but this team will go as far as veteran quarterback Derek Carr and a rebuilt defense will take it. Traveling east has not been good for the Raiders in recent years. They haven't been good at all. But in Carolina, they are facing a team with a new head coach and new coordinators. First, The Raiders need to win the battle up front against what has been a suspect Carolina offensive line. They need to get after quarterback Teddy Bridgewater making his first start in Carolina. Oh yeah, don't forget to tackle Christian McCaffrey. Remember, the Raiders follow this game with ones against New Orleans, New England, Buffalo, Super Bowl champion Kansas City, and Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Yikes! But getting a win at Carolina is huge, not only to kick off the 2020 season on a good note, but to gain confidence as the Raiders head into what will be a really difficult stretch of games. Do the sportsbooks know something? Maybe. The Raiders are a 3-point favorite at most shops around town. Think about that. The Raiders on the road, heading east, still expected to come back with a victory. Whether that tells you folks aren't sold on Carolina at all, or they just think the Raiders are in for a better season than most have predicted, it really doesn't matter. None of it diminishes the importance of the Raiders needing to start the season 1-0. A must-win? I think it's as close to one as you can find in the opening week of games. Look, the Raiders are better than Carolina on paper, much more so in some spots. That actually means nothing, especially on the road. You can't turn the ball over. You can't blow assignments. You can't let McCaffrey run all over Bank of America Stadium because they might throw that guy 100 screen passes, or at least 10. The Raiders might not have tape or information to go on about a team with an entire new coaching staff, but that can't be used as an excuse. They need this season to win games they're expected to win, and that starts in Carolina. My pick, Raiders 24, Panthers 17. I'm Ed Graney, and those are my hot takes.
Do not go anywhere. Vegas Nation Game Day will be right back.
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Alexa, play my flash briefing.
Here's what's new in today's news.
Stay in the loop of the latest information in the Las Vegas Valley with the Las Vegas Review Journal Flash Briefings. Every day, we will provide you with everything you need to know in news, business, weather, entertainment, and sports. Go to the Alexa app and search LVRJ News Briefing. Then say, Alexa, play my flash briefing to hear 3 minutes of the most important information in Las Vegas.
All your listeners and followers, the best name of any podcast in the world is podcast.
It doesn't make good television if they walk in the door and be like, no.
We believe we can make absinthe work.
Whoa, I didn't order that. Did you just? What? Yeah, did you just say that?
Tom Brady.
Who?
And Tom Brady, he's a quarterback in the Boston area.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
The Road Ahead is sponsored by the Richard Harris Law Firm. Just in case. Injured? Call 444-4444.
Welcome back to Vegas Nation Game Day. I'm Cassie Soto here with Adam Hill. Adam, let's look at the road ahead. In 8 days, the road takes the Raiders to their new home, Allegiant Stadium, where they will take on Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints.
Well, first of all, I think the Raiders should not be looking at the road ahead. Let's make sure that it's us looking at the road ahead, not the Raiders.
It's just us.
Because here's the thing. The road ahead is brutal. It is not paved with gold, that is for sure. You've got the next 7 weeks. You've got games that are going to be very difficult. Well, there's a bye week thrown in there too, but you're going to be underdogs until week 10. So the Raiders need to focus on today. They can't think about the road ahead. But the Saints are the opponent next week. Everybody's got that date focused because it's the opening of Allegiant Stadium. It'll be the first time everybody gets to see it, prime time. The nation will be watching Allegiant Stadium and the Raiders. So it's going to be a tough game. People can get a look at the Saints today. They got a game against the Bucs after the Raiders play, so you can watch the Raiders and then go ahead and watch the Saints and the Bucs and get a little bit of a scouting report. The Raiders certainly will be doing that. But that is going to be tough. We know what the Saints have. They've got Drew Brees, who's not the gunslinger anymore, but he is a guy who really, really manages that offense well. Alvin Kamara, a superstar in the backfield. Michael Thomas, one of the best wide receivers in the league. And that defense is really, really good. A lot of people talk about the Saints as offense. They are about defense right now. Marshawn Lattimore, one of the top corners in the league. So a tough matchup on the horizon, and then it only gets tougher from there for the Raiders. So they don't want to think about that too much. They want to just focus on Carolina.
Well, you guys, of course, you and Ed have a Vegas Nation podcast that airs every Friday, and you guys recently talked about that. It might be too soon to say that week 1 is a must win, but as you just said, the road doesn't get any easier from here. So today, we're live here today on Sunday. This is a must win for the Raiders at Carolina.
There is no such thing as a must win in week 1 in the NFL, but this is as close as it gets, for sure. So you're going to want to win this game. Ed talked about being favored on the road. They haven't been favored on the road a whole lot, right? Last year they were favored on the road one time. They went to the Jets as a 3.5-point favorite and got blown out. So it hasn't happened often. The Raiders have not been good at 10 a.m. They haven't been good on the East Coast. They haven't been good as road favorites. None of those things have worked out well for them. But this is a new team. Third year in the system for Derek Carr. They've got a lot of expectations. They are better on paper. They need to go win this game.
Right. All right. Well, we are just minutes away from kickoff. Of course, our Vegas Nation crew is in Charlotte, so let's go ahead and check in with them. Let's see what they are putting out on Twitter. Here is Vinny Bonsignor saying Derek Carr getting some throws up as the Raiders are getting warmed up.
Yeah, Derek Carr, the season's on his arm, right? We've talked about building the team around him. Building the offensive line is in place. If it comes back from last year, they've got all the weapons you could possibly want, not only with the new guys in Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, Hunter Renfrow, kind of a security blanket, a third down guy, Darren Waller, one of the top tight ends in the league. You've got that dynamic running game with Josh Jacobs. Everything is there. Everything's in place for this offense to be really, really good. And so now it's on Derek Carr. So he's out there getting that work, getting ready. The expected team total, this is a number not that many people talk about very often. Expected team total today for the Raiders is 25. That's how many points they're expected to score based on all the analytics, the point spreads, all those things. That's a lot of points, and that's not something they did very often last year. So a lot of pressure on them, a lot of expectations for them. Right. But the Panthers are a good matchup. They don't have much on defense.
Well, one more tweet here from Charlotte. Let's bring up Heidi Fang. She gives us a look at offensive coordinator Greg Olsen. Is he ready to suit up or what?
Well, Rico Gafford inactive. Yeah. Maybe Greg Olsen active. He doesn't have the speed of Rico Gafford, but pretty good form there. Looks like he can catch the ball. Not bad.
All right, Adam. Well, let me just get your final thoughts here. Raiders at Carolina, we just said it. We don't want to say it's a must-win, but it is a must-win week 1. They have to get this one.
Yep, only time they're going to be favored until week 10, so you've got to take advantage when you're supposed to win. They are supposed to win. The guys you want to watch, really, it's the new guys. It's Henry Ruggs. It's Brian Edwards on offense. It's Damon Arnett on defense. Jonathan Abram, we don't talk about him being a rookie, but he really is. I mean, he only played a half last year. Attention is on those guys. So we're going to be watching them. We're going to see how they perform. In a lot of the Raiders' season, a lot of what they do is going to come down to how those guys play. Yeah. And they're being thrown right into the mix. So we're going to find out very soon.
Oh, you mentioned Jonathan Abram, and we were able to see him and hear from him a few weeks back. And he said, he was asked, is this your rookie year? And he said, I only played a game. Like, that doesn't count for anything. So, yes, this is his rookie year. Fans obviously grew to love him on why am I blanking? I was going to say Vegas Nation Game Day. Yeah, Salmon. On Hard Knocks. Yes. Salmon. So we are very excited to see him. Adam, thank you so much here. Our Vegas Nation Game Day debut. Thank you all for watching. Let's go ahead and see the Raiders now.